The presidential election is a little more than a month away, and county clerks around the state are working to ensure poll workers are trained and ready for early voting.
News 8's Josh Sanchez has more on how two county clerks are getting ready for this hotly contested election. Josh.
Good evening, Brian, Sue. Now, this will be the first presidential general election under changes made to the state constitution that was approved by voters back in 2022. And that has included allowing an extended window for votes to be made in person with that 9-day window. Now, this extension of time, or this extra time, means that clerks have brought in more poll workers and election inspectors on top of the busy work of preparing and sending out those absentee ballots. The clock is ticking for county clerks like Allegan County Clerk Bob Janetsky.
We're pretty well at a frantic and furious pace when you talk about work in the county clerk's office and at your local clerk level at the 32 cities and township.
This presidential election cycle is the first time people will have the option to vote in person before the election with a 9-day window. The first election under the new rule was the February presidential primary. Janetsky says there's been a record turnout at training classes to prepare new election inspectors for November.
In 2022, I trained 683 election inspectors, which was an all-time high in Allegan County, and we expect to hit upward of 1,000 this time around as we try and support the early in-person voting.
Very excited.
In Kalamazoo County, Clerk Meredith Place says there's been strong support for early voting, making it easy for local election officials to find poll workers.
And they're actually sharing with the other local clerks names of interested individuals who may be able to work in a different jurisdiction. So we are, we're feeling really good going into November.
Along with in-person voting options, voters also have the absentee ballot option. Janetsky says when voters can expect their absentee ballots has been a frequent question. After a few delays, he says they're in the mail.
We were delayed by both a statewide court case as to whether or not Robert Francis Kennedy would still be on the ballot. And then we were delayed in Allegan County with a county clerk's court case relative to a county commissioner being on the ballot or not. That one was resolved a week ago from last Friday.
Tracking that ballot can be as simple as going to the state's voter information website, Place says. Amid the shuffle ahead of November, both clerks are prepared to reassure voters that their ballots and the election are safe.
Our election inspectors are committed to making sure that every legally registered U.S. citizen who lives in that jurisdiction has the opportunity to cast a ballot, and that ballot counts no more, no less than anybody else's ballot.
As well as transparent.
We also remind voters who are interested or curious in the election process that the election process is public.
Now, both clerks are encouraging those who are eligible to get out and vote this November. Janetsky also is asking patience with election staff during this process. In the Kalamazoo studio, Josh Sanchez, News 8.